Hey guys, welcome back to the God is Within Her podcast. I'm your God's sis, Chelsea. Today we are going to be talking about handling business God's way, okay? Living for God. When you actually live for Him, He's in all aspects of your life. So your inner circle, your family and your friends, your finances, and even your career. But we have to make sure that we're doing it in a godly way. Because in this world, money can be a driver, a motivator, an influencer. Money can be it, popularity, fame, recognition. All of these things can get us off of our kingdom business track. And we have to be handling it His way. So I have 3 things for us to remember while we're handling our kingdom business. Number 1, remember God is the CEO of your life. God is the CEO. That term, I learned that from the Blessed and Bossed Up podcast. I told you guys before that podcast has been a podcast that I have tuned into and has been tremendously impactful in my life, and I continue to tap in to this day, not as frequently and as consistently as I did before, but in that time where I was tapped all the way in, I purchased the God is Your CEO journal. In the journal, there's a different sections. They have section for your prayer requests, so God's track record. You have a section for your sermon notes, and then like a journal entry, a morning and night journal entry reflection section. And it really just gets you in the mindset of, I'm in the background, okay? God is leading. I am not the leader. God is leading. And He is leading. In that same vein, it's also a partnership. You have to remember God is working spiritually and you are working in the natural. So your actions, make sure that they are in alignment and in partnership with God, not in combative and conflict with it, because then there's no resolution and you guys are not on the same page. And that's the importance of prayer and really being tuned into your purpose. If you did not listen to the Walk in Your Purpose episode, please tune in, because it talks about how you can really find God's purpose for your life and walking in purpose no matter what situation may come. So, number 1 to handling kingdom business, no, God is your CEO. Okay? Number 2, steward in excellence. Daniel 5:14 says, I had even heard of thee, that the spirit of the gods is in thee, and that the light and understanding and excellence, wisdom is found in thee. Okay. Steward in excellence. God is within you. God is within you. Let God's light shine through you to others. Okay. In that verse, in that scripture, it was the latter part of it was actually the middle part of the Daniel and the Lion's Den story, because in the beginning of the story, it talks about how the king has a dream and he can't interpret it. So he brings about all these people with divine gifts and is trying to say like, hey, use your gift. I heard about you, Daniel. Can you please use your gift to let us know what the dream says? Daniel says, okay. And so that was the scripture there. So Daniel says, okay. And I've talked about this story before. I just find it so fascinating because it's the lion den part for me. But okay, so he is like, all right, I'll go back and figure out what the dream is. Oh, also part of the king's request was like, hey, if you help me out here, I'll crown you as leader of the nation, as king. So once Daniel goes back and he interprets the dream, and he's like, well, God is trying to tell you that if you don't start ruling correctly, you will lose your throne. Simple as that. The king didn't listen, and he did not want to uphold his part of the bargain, which was naming him king. And so therefore, all of his flunkies and his followers tried to figure out ways to come against Daniel, but they couldn't. So the one thing that they knew that they could do was to write a law that says you cannot talk to God. So Daniel, being who he is, continues to pray and in his heart talks to God. So as a way of punishment, they take Daniel and put him in a lion's den. What? And with lions. So Daniel got down there, got into prayer. So then the king, after he's been down there for a little time, the king goes, "Oh, Daniel, how are you doing? Did your king that you love so much save you?" Daniel's like, "Yep, I'm still here. My mighty king saved me. Those lions, those mouths are shut." And then he's like, "Oh." And so the king brings Daniel up. But then he ends up going in there and being condemned. Him, his wife, his kids, all his family. Which is crazy. Look at how life turns. Well, it's not crazy. It's expected because evil, you always most likely gonna fall in your butt. Like if you win in evil, you only win it for a certain amount of time. You eventually going to fall. But that's not the point. The point is Daniel stayed true to his gift throughout the whole time that he was tempted and being plotted against by the king and everyone else who works for the king. Isn't that crazy? Like, that's how we have to be with our gift. We have to be so mindful and intentional with our gift that we use it with insight, intelligence, and wisdom and full faith, even when the lions are right in your face. Okay? So, handling kingdom business. Number 1, know that God is the CEO. Number 2, steward in excellence. Use your gift like Daniel used his gift. Number 3, remember the definition of success is impact. Okay, we tend to, like I said earlier, we tend to want popularity, fame, recognition, notability. Things have nothing to do with the soul. I think the soul and impact on the soul in somebody's life is the definition of success. Not likes, not numbers, not people. And it's so easy because of this analytical, structured world that we're in that we can get so caught up with that, especially with the way of marketing and business. That whole numbers and awareness and getting it out there is so borderline. Like, what's your intent? Is your intent to really help me? Or is your intent to share awareness for your brand? You know? But I'm still battling in that within myself and even within this business, because that's part of the reason why I don't have a picture of myself on this podcast on the cover, because it's not about me. It's about you and your life with God. Okay, to recap, handling your kingdom business God's way. Remember, number 1, God is the CEO, okay? Let him lead, you help. It's a partnership. Number 2, steward in excellence. Use your gift faithfully, insightfully, intelligently, and with wisdom, just as Daniel did. And number 3, remember the definition of success is impact. We already know that it's going to require sacrifice, being uncomfortable, and pain to grow. However, we know that it's going to be worth it all in the end. We're going to get the well done, my faithful servant. We are going to get the I'm going to bless you double time. Okay? Tenfold. In Matthew 25:21, in that chapter, it talks about, in that verse and in that chapter, it talks about blessing how God blessed his servants double time. He gave all of his servants different gifts. He gave somebody 5 gifts, somebody 2, one other servants 1. And then at the end of their walk and their journey, and at the end of their current battle, he gave them double fold. So the ones with 5 gifts had 10 gifts. The ones with 2 had now 4, and so on and so forth. But just remember that God, his promises always prevail. Okay? Make sure that as you're walking in your purpose, living your life out here, your lifestyle exudes God, includes God, has God as the leader. Yes. Okay. Again, for a quick recap. Number 1, God is the CEO. Remember, in your business, in your passion, in your walk, God is the CEO. Number 2, steward in excellence. Use your gift like Daniel. Let God's light shine through you. And number 3, the definition of success is impact. How are you impacting somebody's life and somebody's soul? Are you traumatizing them? Or are you nurturing them, enriching them? Okay? It'll all be worth it in the end. God's promises always gonna come back tenfold. I hope this message helped somebody today. I continue to remember these as I steward my business. I tried to talk a little bit about that today. I hope everybody appreciated the transparency, and I can't wait to connecting with you guys soon. Today's food for your soul, food for thought question is, how are you stewarding God's business in your life? How are you stewarding over God's business in your life? How are you doing it? Reflect on it. Just you and God. All right, that's it for now. I'll talk to you next time. Bye. Make sure you're subscribed to the show so you don't miss when we post the next episode.